Good evening. Okay, we'll be going to be talking about pot versus price, and the examples that we have are about 4 or 5. All of this information is market price 2 minutes out. So we're starting on question 1, which is Tamworth race 4 on the 21st of January. The query was, Brother Bassie was the sub runner, so should I have backed him or Blinking Fast, who was close to the rated price? King?
All right, the answer is very simple. It's important to remember that the sub runner is only often used for the market price where the sheet is sent. If the market shifts the other way come betting time, then it can change the situation. Back in Blinking Fast, even at $6, would have reduced the pot to 50%, which is below the standard that I set. We want 60%. So I'm at 58 or 55 is, There were 2 other key elements for the race. Firstly, Brother Bassie was rated at a better chance than Blinking Fast, and the overlay on Brother Bassie was big. So for those 2 reasons additionally, Brother Bassie should have been chosen as the one to back, and Blinking Fast dropped, notwithstanding the fact that Blinking Fast was dropped and it was way far too below the rated price. So you had that day there, Blinking Fast. Okay, we had it rated at $7.15. It was $5.56 the whole way. Forget about what it's doing in the last 20 seconds, because you don't bet the last 20 seconds. So, and the overlay was Brother Bassie. That was the overlay for the race. It had to be for the race. Okay, so the answer was yes, you have to back Brother Bassie.
Okay, so we're going to move to Happy Valley Race 2 on the 13th of January.
I answered this question. I just want to say this to the members. All right, members, I've said this a lot throughout a lot of my talks. Please, with this system, you have to use your brains. All right, some of the questions that have been asked is a lot of it is it's just common sense, and you just got to sort of learn your way around the sheets, because what you're trying to do, you're trying to optimize the best price. We're not after these winners that are paying $5-6. If we can dump them. And most of the time they're just saver bets anyway. So race 2.
Race 2, yes. Loaded?
Yep.
Okay. So the question here is, why was number 12, which was called Universal Go-Go, why was it a bet under the rated price?
Why was it a bet? Well, first and foremost, okay, from 5 minutes out, there was $6 around for number 12, which was clearly a take given the huge overlays on the other runners. So basically, all the other runners were well overpriced, okay, and the fact that we had it rated at $6.74. Okay, again, members, don't be robotic with this stuff. If a horse is rated at $6.74 and there's $6 around, or even $5.50, when we've got $13 for number 1, we've got $67 for a horse rated at $21.33. We've got a horse rated at $5.55 and it's now paying $8. And we've got a number 10, which was the sub runner, and then number 12. Clearly the other runners are well overpriced, and to accept $6, $5.50 is the reason why you had to back the 12. We didn't want the 12 to win. It happened to win. We're after the big overlays.
That's a very Hong Kong.
And also with Hong Kong, as I've explained to everybody, look, you could see here that this thing, it did hit, there's $6 with one call. There's $6 with Bet365 with 6 minutes to go. There was actually $6.50. Okay, so, $6.50, $5, $5.50, $6 is okay to take, because you've got to look at what the other horses are around that are doing. All right, the upside on the other runners is the key. As long as you are always betting when there is a big upside, then that ensures you are there for the big collects. Whether or not you make the right call on a saver bet is of less consequence in the long term, but clearly the 12 was well rated. Given we were dropping the 10, which was the sub runner, you wanted to be on the 12, even at a slight unders compared to the rated price, to ensure you had sufficient coverage on that race and weren't taking on the data too much by dropping 2 well-rated runners. So when I say take on the data, I dropped the 10 because the 10 is dropped. It's just an emergency runner in case other runners don't get price, and that happens to hit price.
Or late
And then and late scratchings, and then the 12. Okay, so if I dropped the 10, the 12, we're taking on 2 of my top picks. You don't want to be doing that.
And that's initially where the sub runners started coming.
That's
in.
right.
It's because there was a lot of, and we went through a patch there. There was a lot of scratchings, and then have you started going into Greyville?
Okay, so
the 18th.
The 18th. Members, if you're having problems understanding the questions, okay, please keep asking. All right, and I get it. Sometimes you get confused and you don't know what you're doing. You've got to ask, and you've got to keep asking. These questions are fine, all right, but again, I stress, sometimes you just have to sort of manipulate the prices a little bit. You got to look at the pot. The whole thing is, what's more important, price or pot? They're both the same. You need to also worry about the pot, and you need to worry about the price. You start mucking around with price, it's going to affect the pot, vice versa. Okay, so Greyville, what race?
Race 8.
Okay, race 8.
And pot's something that we find is important because we don't bet for betting's sake.
That's right. Okay, so we go to race 8. Here we go. Okay, question.
Okay, I want to know whether we should have backed the 3 here because it was a top pick, even though underprice and low pod. Dropping the 3 and backing the 4 gives you a better price overlay and pot, but a lower winning chance, 7.63% less winning chance. Is that the right thing to do? I ended up backing the 3. Should I have got that price on Betfair?
Okay, the answer, it depends on the price of the top pick. You've done the right thing assessing the difference in winning chance and seen it isn't substantial. When we refer to the top pick, it's often because it's clear cut. Often the top pick is rated between $2.50 and $4. And it's clear cut. With other runners that rated the double figures, in this example of all the runners are rated fairly similarly, so the concept of the top pick is less relevant as you have a large market percentage coverage over the field. Hence, in this case, the market price is more important than the top pick and concept. Different to you if I had a horse rated at $3 and then other 4 rated double figure odds. Well, you will want to be backing the ones at double figure odds, but not taking on the data by dropping the ones at $3 and less unders. The pot was also low, backing the 3, hence why the correct move was to drop the 3 and back the 4. Remember, we make the final decision on whether to bet and which horses to back based on corporate bookmakers' odds, not Betfair. And that's where everybody's getting caught out. I'm not sitting here looking at Betfair. I'm looking at the corporate bookmakers. Okay, that's where I make the call of what we need to drop. Now in that race, okay, number 3, okay, we had it rated at 535. Now it was obviously the top pick, but number 4, we had it rated at 350. Why would you keep the 3? Unless the 3 actually hit price with 10 minutes out, it never came to the price. It's a no-brainer. Drop it. We don't want these runners to win. We're not interested in them winning, and I'm not interested in firmers. If a horse has gone from come in from 550 into 330, bin them, drop them. Okay.
Okay. Next one is Happy Valley Race 4 on the 13th of January.
13th of January.
Race 4.
And I think a lot of members, it's not your fault, okay? A lot of members are addicted to losing. Okay, you're so worried about that you think that this thing is, you got to get that losing thing out of your minds. These sheets are not designed for us to lose. Okay, what race? Race 4. Don't look for a reason not to have a bet. Don't look for a reason to be a loser. Losing is a disease. Winning is a disease. Question.
Okay, I didn't bet as 2 main runners were not at rated price. Was I being too inflexible?
On what race?
So this is race 4 on the 13th.
Okay, race 4
So,
on the 13th.
Yeah. They
Okay,
didn't bet
so-
as the 2 main runners were not at rated price.
Okay, which ones?
I'd imagine that looks like the 7
Okay, Gallant Crown.
and the 10 by the look.
Okay, so answer 7 was $8, which was borderline on price tolerance. But again, if wanting to bet on the race because of the upside on the other runners, then 10 was the one to drop on price. Okay, number 10, all right, was rated at $5.50. It never hit. It hit $3.80, $4. The winner, okay, it was $9, $8.50 to $9. Of course, you drop the 10 was the one to drop on price. 10 was 31% below its rated price, and at 32% pot when including should be dropped. Back in 7, gave us 111% pot for just a 16% reduction on price, and a big potential collect on 2 and 8, making it a good betting race. You see what you got to do. You probably were a little bit too conservative in this race, but okay, the 7, all right, have a look at its price.
Well, not really. If it's paying $3.80 and it was rated at $5.50.
Well, you have to drop the 10.
Yes. So
Okay,
it wasn't-
but the 7, if you drop that race, the 7, what I don't understand is the 7 hit. It was actually $9. So it was not. You're probably waiting a little bit too long. But don't be hard on yourselves. But in that instance, okay, you got to look at what the 10 was doing. The 10 never came near our price ever. So drop the first thing you drop. Then you can be flexible on the 7. We don't care if the 10 wins. We don't even want the 10 to win. Remember that. Horses. If we've got a horse rated at $5.50 and it goes from $5.50 to $3.50 or $4, we don't. That's not the outcome that I'm looking for. Drop them. Let them go.
Okay, so we're going to Ascot race 6 on the 9th of January.
Okay, the 9th of January. This is going to be a good answer and question, because, I mean, technically by the rules, really, I know I sound pissed off, but I'm not. But technically by the rules, if you never bet in this race, then it's madness. It really is. It's pure madness, because you got price on the runners. Members, I want you to win, not to lose. Okay, race 6. Let's have a look. This is the 100-to-1 shot.
Okay, so the question was, technically by the rules, if I dropped the 9, the pot was 29%, which according to the rules means bin the race. There's also another runner that didn't get price, so according to the rules, if 2 runners didn't hit price, then bin the race. Well, it's 2 and more runners, technically.
Okay, so if we're being, it's 2 runners. Okay, so we had, in the race, we had number 2, we got price. Number 5, we know we got price in that runner. Okay. Last of the line, we got price. Okay. Number 8, okay. We got, hang on, and 8, and we got 9. All right. Now, number 9, its price at the time was I can't remember what price we sent it out at.
Here it's saying...
Okay, $4.77. All right. Now, the key for this, the answer is the huge overlays on 2, 5, and 7 meant it was a race you clearly, absolutely wanted to be betting in. 8 was the top rated runner and only 15% below the rated price. So taking a slightly reduced price given the circumstances was clearly warranted. Again, members, this is where you need to be switched on. These are exactly the type of races you want to be betting on. The ones with the big potential collects, that's where the big profits come from. then of course you want to be betting. This is where common sense has to take over the guidelines that are designed to ensure you bet in races where there are big upsides, and don't bet in races where the market prices are minimal upside above the rated price. The rating spreadsheet, all right, does not automatically drop a runner based on below price. Okay, so we're gonna talk about this race clearly. First, when people say we never got price, we actually did. We actually did get price. Okay, on number 8, okay, for starters, all right, we wanted 366. Tell me here, okay, this runner here hit, look, with all the corporate bookmakers. It was 340 with 3 minutes to go. That was at the New South Wales TAB. So for the sake of 26 cents, you dropped the runner. This is, again, I'm not sounding angry. I just want to. This is how I talk. I talk with a bit of passion. Number 2, it was rated at $13.55. You got $26. Number 5, the winner, was rated at $15.89. You got 101. Number 7 number 7 was the sub runner. Number 8 was rated at 366. You got 340. You could have even taken 320. Number 9 was rated at 477. Okay, the best you got for number 9 was 360. It didn't even come close. But you must play in those races. Okay, now I have navigated in these races and I've dropped them. No one takes notice of that. It's when what everyone takes notice of is when you don't back the 101 shot winner. And the reason why anyone would have missed it, because you were too conservative. Now, in saying that, all right, if number 2 was hovering around $12.50, $13, number 5 was hovering around the $13, $14, yes, there's that, but you got massive overs on. We are not after the 8 and the 9. We don't care if they win. They're not our interest if they win. They just rated, they happen to rate. Please, members, don't be addicted and don't be scared of price. The guys that make the money are the guys that are fearless. If you're going to sit there and start tossing whether or not you should be dropping a horse for the sake of 22... I mean, look at this. This runner was $3.40 with 3 minutes to go. Why wouldn't you not take it? Okay, $3.40, there it is there. I'm not... There you go. There's $3.40 again. It's $3.40 across the board. Everyone's looking 30 seconds out. You're not betting at 30 seconds out. You're betting for about 3 or 4 minutes to go. You have to look at the other runners around it. They are the ones that we are after. They're the only ones that we are after. That's where we get our big fill-ups. You got to look at what I've always said. We do the opposite of what everybody else does. That's it.
Well, I don't think everybody else does.
No, they don't.
Which is why, Okay, so there's a whole pile of general questions here. They all relate to pot, dropping runners, sort of 2 runners. Where do you want to start? Maybe from the bottom and work our way back up?
What's that? Okay.
So
the rating spreadsheet does not automatically drop a runner.
So will I read the question?
Yep.
Okay, the information pack says that the spreadsheet won't allow you to take 2 runners under the price. That's fine, I can do that in my head, but just out of curiosity, how does the spreadsheet do that? Because I've never seen it make a pass race just because of the 2 runners were under the rated price. It's right at the end. Right to the end of the question.
Okay. If you delete the market price of 2 main runners from the sheet, then the recommended units for all runners disappears.
Yes, so they've just got to delete things.
Yeah, you've got to delete the stuff.
And that's why we've made it so it's flexible for them to change on the run, so that they can go with the market. It's not rigid. But again, they've got to click onto it. Okay, if a sub runner and a main runner are the same rated price, which one should I take? The one with the better price, or does the fact that it's the main selection and the other is a sub runner, should I be looking to take the main pick even if the price is worse than the sub runner?
This is a no-brainer. yes, if there's two horses, one sub runner, main runner, have the same rated price, you take the one which you can get the better price. Always, it's always about price. Sub is usually determined simply by the price at the time the sheet is sent, which could be vastly different by the time you bet. So of course you always take the runner with the best price.
Okay, is the calculus different for, say, our top pick versus the main picks?
If there is a clear top pick or one with a high rated winning percentage, then as I say, King, don't want to be taking the data on too often. You can drop the price more than you would be at a larger price, but it is always pot dependent. And ultimately, if you are investing a small amount at one at big odds, then again you can drop the price as the return to outlay is high. Ultimately, guys, you are wanting to bet on the high potential collect races where you aren't taking on the data and rated runners on the sheet too much. That is the ultimate goal. All right, we've got to take on. We're trying to get the best prices and we're trying to get for the big collects. That's what we want. That's the goal.
Okay. Does the concept of being able to take unders if the pot is high mainly apply when it's a question of whether to bet in a race or not, rather than when you're choosing between a main selection and a sub selection?
Okay, the pot calculation is a way to try and assist less experienced punters. Because, I mean, not many of you guys are experienced, and that's okay.
In our system.
Yeah, we've determined whether to bet in the race or not. Once you have been using the system for a while, we would hope you would base your decision on whether to bet in a race or not more on the total units invested in the 4 or 5 unit max. It's not really a race worth betting in. But if you're betting 3 units and some of the potential overlays are 10 plus units, then you want to be betting and possibly taking unders on one runner to cover the rated runners and maximize your chances of collecting and getting the big collects. The decision to drop a runner comes when the market price is so far below than the rated price that the value clearly isn't there. Remember the word value. And the long-term play is the best to drop the runner and go for the big fill-up. Remember, when making the decision to be less concerned about the outcome of that one race and more have a feel of the best long-term decision based on your experience. So again, it's all about the long-term outcome. You know, don't focus on that one particular race.
Okay, I really think that answers pretty much all of these questions, unless you want to talk about pot a little bit more. You know, sort of, especially what seems to be the query is pots, low pots.
Okay, with the low pots, all right, members, it's simple. Okay, we don't want to be betting in low pot races. If I've got a pot around this in the say 58 to about a 65% pot, it just tells me one thing: I've aligned with them. Their prices have aligned with my prices. It's not what I'm after.
Unless it starts to blow.
As everyone's seen, we are getting big fill-ups when we don't align with them. Okay? When we don't align with them. That's what we want. We don't want to align with them. So, when we see a pot of 60% and we've got runners hovering around the market price and you're 50-50 about it, burn it. Burn the race. Dump it. It's only when we've got a pot of 60% and there's one runner hovering around or it's under the price, but all the other runners are well overs, bet. It's what the other runners are doing up against the top rated runners. That's the key. All right? And, you know, again, we're here to win. So anyone's got questions, why, how come, please keep asking me. Keep asking all of us here at Winning Edge. We're all here to help everybody. Trust me, guys, this is a winning system. All right? We killed them today. Absolutely packing them. Ararat, Perth, Albany, Doomben. I aborted Scone because all the favourites won. Okay? We won in New Zealand. We aborted last night in Hong Kong. We're winning everywhere. We're winning across the world. Okay? So, keep it up. Don't get scared when you're betting. And let's keep winning. Thanks, guys.